There you are.
There I am.
I mean, you've got it. You've got the mechanics, you've got the structure, you've got the connections. Um, and the question that you asked, like, listen, I can tell a lot about where someone's at by the questions that they're asking.
Okay.
And I see and you're right there. And I think the only thing that's missing, Carol, is you building out your own Zettelkasten.
Right.
And all those answers of how are you going to remember things, all those questions about how can you follow that path, and all those questions about like how you like the what thumbnail to use, it's going to make sense because it's going to be in your own words.
Yeah.
And if anything, this shared graph was meant to be enough motivation to push you towards hitting that critical mass, because once that happens, then you see that reflection and you see the learning and knowledge that you've done, and then it's that's the last piece.
Right.
And I wanted to provide enough motivation to get you through to that point. And
It's definitely been motivating.
yeah, and I mean your abstraction process, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen real quick.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and take a look. Give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and go to the daily notes page. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Do you happen to remember any of your permanent notes? Any of your titles?
Yes. No? I did one I did two recently in the last couple of days. One I think was called Design. Can I get to my screen? Let me see.
Yep, perfect. I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great. This is great. The reason that all of this is important is because then what it does is it informs you of what this is going to be, and you completely understand it. And then now you're explaining what the author is saying. The reference is here. And then I just want you to understand that let's go ahead and take a look at the location of this permanent note. Right now, it's located creativity, design, inspiration. That's the sort of thread of conversation, right?
Yeah.
And Carol, if you think about it, I think one of your questions was how does this all connect with, articles on embroidery and species of birds? And you have to remember that if you look at this, where does this note come from? Let's go ahead and open this in the sidebar and we go, where is this note coming from? And this note is coming from, this is yours as well.
Yeah.
Let's pick another one. Let's pick another one. Let's click on this note, right? And we go, this one obviously isn't yours, right? Yeah, this one isn't yours. And so this one is coming from Sonkei's book. This one's coming from Sonkei's book. And this is directly connected. This is the parent of your permanent note. And so when you think about it and you think about the structure of how this is all working, what's really happening is that you're not doing this top-down structure. You're doing this bottom-up structure where you don't know where the next note is going to go. And so when you're talking about where does sensible connections, the connections are going to happen from the conversations, not from the actual source or notes that you're actually creating. And that's why if you look at this structure at the very top, the parent level block is not permanent note, but the parent level block is actually relevant note. So if I collapse this and I collapse this, relevant note is actually the parent. And so this is the most important part of any permanent note. Underneath that, you have all the children of relevant note permanent notes, and you have the permanent note itself. You'll notice that they're all on that same row.
Yeah.
And so as you start creating out your permanent notes, you'll see that. So here's my question for you. Have you started your own permanent your own personal Zettelkasten yet?
Yes, most of them are the ones from the shared graph that I've created.
Can you show me?
Yeah.
Can you share your screen with me?
Okay.
I'm going to throw a sweater on real quick.
Okay. It's asking me to do some settings.
How have you been getting on, by the way? I feel like, yeah, you've grasped these concepts so easily.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's going to tell me I've got to quit Zoom and come back again.
Yeah, it might be settings on your computer. Do you want to go ahead and do that now, and then I'll be waiting?
Okay.
Carol, you're doing freaking phenomenal, and I think you should know that. And if and when you watch this video back, I want you to know that you're right there. You're right there. All you got to do is build out this Zettelkasten in your own words, and everything is just going to go snap. And I hope this provides you enough motivation to make that happen. I know it will. You got a community right behind you. Anyways, I got to open this door for you.
Okay.
There we go.
Let's try again. Oh, that's better. Now it's showing me it. First time I've shared the screen like that.
Perfect.
Can you see what?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So that's my personal one.
Phenomenal. And let's go to your permanent notes page.
Okay. So I make it bigger.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay.
And then let's go ahead and click on the number 1 next, the inline reference for conversation. Let's go ahead and open that. Yeah.
One in there at the moment.
Yeah, this is phenomenal. And then let's go ahead and click on that first permanent note, conversation, your first words. Yeah, let's go ahead and open that. And then let's go back in the browser. You know what I don't see?
Yeah.
I don't see you. Like, I don't see you in these, like, these notes.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Is that confusing?
Sort of.
It almost feels like these notes are more like homework assignment notes instead of like your soul, your spirit in these notes.
Okay.
And this is what, can you do this for me? Can you share your graph with me and allow me to sort of traverse a little?
Yep. How do I do that?
So go to the 3 dots at the top.
Yeah.
And then go to share, and make sure you go to share, and then make sure that you stop this after our session.
Okay.
So go to editors, in that box in editors, and let's just type in my first name, BEAUHAAN at BEAUHAAN.com. Perfect, and hit enter. And perfect. Now I'm going to go and stop sharing your screen, and I'm going to share my screen now. And, I need to travel a little bit. Is it this one here?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let this load up. We're going to have some special guests tomorrow, so that'll help with, Kyle's going to come in with this thing called seed packs, which will install the CSS and install templates for you if you haven't done so already. Let me just take a look around, okay? I'm going to traverse a little bit.
Black.
A summary here would be nice.
Actually, that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I had it wrong. I had it wrong. Here we go. See, now I can see your thinking. Again, a summary here just allows it so you don't have to always see this.
Yeah.
But again, this is your Zettelkasten, and you can do whatever you want. I was actually wrong. Look at this. This is great. So what you're doing is you have this reference here, and what you're pulling out of it is this. And so that's interesting. And then what happens if I collapse all these? 1, 2, 3, 4. Conversation, motivation. What the heck? Carol, you're killing it.
I've done it right, huh?
You're killing it. This is exactly it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You need to triple this.
Yeah, it's only 7.
That's the only way you're going to know. And let me just double check your inline linked references. This is practice. This is over here. Perfect. This is conversation. The thing is, you don't need to come back up because this conversation, so you'll notice that this is on the same branch. So going upwards, you don't need to do a relevant note. So I'm going to go into this permanent note here. And I don't see this linked to the daily notes page. Is that on purpose? Here we go. It must be spelled differently.
I think that was the first one I did. I probably did it wrong.
So let's just go this one and let's see if that one connects. That, I'm not sure if it connected or not. No, it's not connecting with the permanent notes page. So let's go and go this one, context. The structural context within which note sits is more important. Okay, you forgot the Zettelkasten one. Okay, so which one do you want to keep? You want to keep this one or this one?
I changed the text, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, and didn't link it back somehow.
Which one did you prefer? This one, I presume?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to go copy this text. And you see what I'm doing? I'm just doing a tune-up here. I'm going to come back in here, and I'm just going to go and do this. Boom, now it's connected. And this is sort of how you know it's only located in 2 different locations. So if I go back into this note here, or is it context? Yeah, it should be context. What happened to the relevant note? Let's go back to the permanent notes page. So you have conversation here, and click on this permanent note, and I click on the relevant notes. I don't see the conversation. Where's the conversation? Oh, there it is. So you relevant that below it. This is interesting. Hold on. This is Did you make this note first and then put this on top, or I'm confused because this was your first permanent note, right?
Yeah.
February 27th. February 27th at 11:01.
I may have copied them in the wrong order from the other graph.
Yeah. I'm just going to leave it. I mean, it's connected already. Let me just keep going through here. I see what I did wrong. I was looking at it backwards.
Right.
So here's motivation, right? And that's connected to experience learning. I'm looking at it backwards. I don't know what's going on. I have to be backwards down the way. You don't want it to go back up the branch. That's what's interesting. Let me just see something real quick. I'm going to go in here. Yeah. They all seem to be on, like it keeps talking. It keeps talking to the branch above it, right?
Right.
And it's like that's so basically what the linking that's happening is that instead of branches that are far away, it's getting linked to just the one above it. And so I'm just trying to figure out
because
what.
I've only got a few notes. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Because like practice is over here. This is great. So one click, it opens all those notes. And then design is located underneath it, which is fine because it doesn't need to go. What's throwing me off is the fact that the note is going below it. Or like for this, it's going above it. Do you know what I mean?
Feel free to correct it for me.
Yeah, because so basically what's confusing is that what it's telling me is that this note was created before this note, which wouldn't make any sense.
That's probably because I've brought them in the wrong order then.
Let's just go to the daily notes page for this one. 10. The conversation was first.
Yeah, I brought those all in on the same day.
Yeah.
Probably in the wrong order.
This one.
That's not actually the days I created them. It's the days I dragged them into my graph.
Now, when you drag these into your graph, did you just copy paste it from the shared graph, or was this?
Yes,
did you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be the first thing we want to work on then, because
Okay.
when you bring it into your graph, which one was the very first permanent note? By the way, my screen's lagging a little bit here. I'm going to stop sharing for a second.
First one I created.
Yes. What was the first note that you created?
Oh goodness. Pass.
And so let me just reiterate here, Carol. So basically, the notes that you wrote in the shared graph would be identical to these notes that are in your personal graph, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and fine tune that real quick, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and start with. I got an idea. I'm going to go in here. You can't see my screen. Let me go and share my screen. So I'm back in your screen here, right? Is there any way we can turn off the black color?
I don't know because it's not in my on black. I don't know why it's gone into black. On mine, I've got it in white.
Let me go ahead and open the page. Let's see what happens. Okay, I don't know what's going on.
I probably messed up the CSS somehow, but it doesn't show black on my screen here.
It might be because I'm using Safari. Let's go ahead and take a look. I need to reopen this graph. I don't know what's going on. It's frozen. Give me 1 second. Okay, cool. I don't know what is going on. Let me go and close all these tabs. Close, 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 close. I am going to keep that one open. Let's go. The reason that we can't bring over the exact same permanent notes because it's a different note altogether. I think that's where the disconnect may be.
Right.
Okay. Okay, my mouse is frozen here. I don't know what is going on. This page is not loading for me right now. I'm going to close this, see if that helps. Okay, there we go. Uh-oh. Okay, so you have this one. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Let's go and take a look.
Just copy things in there. I don't really know
Yeah.
what's in there. So
I'm just going to close this.
I've never seen it in black
Close
before.
this.
It's always been in white on mine.
CSS selectors. All pages. I'll keep that for now. Okay, so obviously it's a setting in here. I don't know page. I could find it real quick. Give me 30 seconds. If I can find it, then I'll change it. Yeah. If I can't, I'll just stick to it. But
So on my screen, it's white, and on my own computer.
yeah, this is what's confusing me here.
Oh, where black's coming from?
Content and blocks, main, body. There we go. Okay, so just remind me to, I'm just gonna do here, I'm just gonna do bump, and I'll go back there after I'm done. Okay, cool. You do have multiple permanent notes here. Is there a reason for that?
No, I just made a mistake with naming them.
Okay, I'm gonna change this for you here. I'm gonna merge it to your old page there, so that way we can just sort of help clear things up a little. And then I'm gonna go to here, and this one I'm just gonna keep lowercase for you. Just, I feel like you have that on purpose. I'm gonna go back in here. I'm gonna close these link references. So this is, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna go and begin again. And this is what I'm gonna do. I want to start a new conversation. So I'm gonna go in and actually nest everything. Let's go to nest all this. It's not gone, it's just nested underneath now, okay?
Yeah.
And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to go back to, let's go back to the first permanent note. And this is this one, correct?
Yeah.
And so what I'd like for you to do is, let's go to February 27th on your page, and I'm gonna let you share now, okay?
Sorry, I got lost there.
Yeah.
So I'm sharing my screen.
If you can share your page with me, and then we'll walk through this together.
Okay.
Perfect. Excellent. And let's go to, yeah, let's go to your daily, March, let me double check the date. February 27th. Let's go to February 27th. Ooh, this is gonna snap things back into place for you. I feel like a chiropractor, you know, I really do. I am like the Zettelkasten whisperer. Okay, perfect. So I love how I love your little set. I love this setup because it's simple, it's clean, and you have all the stuff up at the top, and then underneath you just have a place for your permanent notes. So this is what I want to do. Let's go ahead and click on the bullet point for 1058. Yeah, click on that. We're in Zoom mode. Perfect. Let's go ahead and expand out the expand that bullet point so we can see the fleeting. Perfect. And then this is what I want to do. I want you to delete the index, the relevant note, and the permanent note. So let's get rid of the brackets around conversation. You're using Aslan's JavaScript, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're such a hacker, Cheryl. Dude.
What was the next thing to do?
Let's delete that entire word too. Let's delete conversation. Yeah, we're just going to basically clear everything out. We're going to clear the relevant note underneath that as well, the context block reference. And then let's go ahead and delete that entire permanent note as well. Keep the tag, just the entire phrase.
Not it.
Perfect. And the reason, and you know why we're doing this, right? We're basically
no.
we're starting back over because you can't transfer over your permanent notes. The only thing that you can transfer over from the shared graph is going to be your fleeting notes, your literature notes, and your reference notes. And the reason for that is because when you add this to your Zettelkasten in your graph, you're beginning a new conversation.
Okay.
And you know how the permanent note can literally fit anywhere, and depending on where it fits, the conversation and the permanent note that crystallizes is going to be different. And so what I'd like for you to do, you got it. What I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to expand out the fleeting notes block as well as the literature notes block, just so you can be informed of what's going on. Let's go ahead and close your left sidebar as well, just so we can have a little bit of focus. I like the clean UI that just sort of shows you what you need to do next. Let's go ahead and shift click permanent notes into the sidebar. And this is perfect. This is exactly what we need to be doing. So, this is actually, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and right click on the bullet point next to fleeting notes, and let's do expand all. And let's do this, and then that's perfect. And then this is what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to just read through everything that you wrote from the fleeting notes down, and then read through the literature notes until you get a real sense of what this was about. Okay, I'm just gonna let you do it.
Okay.
Isn't that so much easier when you have everything written down to
Yeah.
remember where this idea came from? Now, this is what I'd like for you to do. I want you to create your first permanent note. Okay. So forget about everything that you've done up to this point, just looking at the fleeting notes, being reminded of what this was about, looking at the literature notes, and maybe even taking a look at the reference note as well to remember where this was coming from. I'd like for you to have what's the first conversation that you want to begin with yourself
So
or
over
with your
here.
communication partner. Just hit hashtag and then create the index for that.
Can I do a different one to what I did before?
Oh, yeah, I definitely recommend that. This is a brand new conversation. It's like you woke up and you're like, this is a new day.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and double bracket that though. Let's highlight the word public speaking and double bracket that. So that way it does link to the page. Perfect. And now being informed by the fleeting notes, being informed by the literature notes, being informed by the reference notes, and having the index of public speaking, I'd like for you to create your first permanent note in your own personal Zettelkasten.
Okay.
I'm going to leave you to it, okay? I'm going to give you some privacy.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
Like when you got it, you got it, and you got it. This is what I'd like for you to do now. Let's scroll back up. Let's click on February 27th, 2021, so we can go back up the breadcrumb. And let's go to the next permanent note. Or we have to connect it, by the way. The relevant notes, let's go and connect it with the index in your daily notes page.
Sorry, I'm lost.
At 10:58, the timestamp 10:58, we have to connect it to your daily notes page. So for next to relevant notes, we need to add public speaking, and then next to permanent notes, we need to add the note itself. Yeah, because that way we can link those two things together. And the same goes for the permanent note. Oh my goodness, this is so good.
Oops.
Oh, well, we actually didn't highlight the in the permanent note. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
And I love this workflow because it automatically shows you if you missed a step. So let's go ahead and delete those two brackets actually in the beginning. And an easy way is let's do double bracket one more time. And then you can type in, yeah, exactly. And that way the wording is going to be perfect. Excellent. Let's scroll down to the next one. In the daily notes page. Exactly. And yeah, you got it. And then let's delete all that old stuff there. If you right click on the bullet point next to permanent notes, let's go ahead and hit expand all just so we can see everything. And then let's delete that permanent note, by the way, the text of that. Yeah, perfect. And then I'm going to leave you to it. You know what to do. Actually, let's do this. I kind of want you to add a fleeting note summary.
Okay.
Just because you didn't on that one. Yeah. So read through the fleeting notes. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
This is just a little commentary for the audience that's watching. This is a master class in Zettelkasten right here. The fleeting notes are all there, and the steps that she's taking, watch closely. This is exactly what's supposed to happen.
Okay. Lost it. Okay.
Let's go to the next one.
Oh, it's still got my colours on this one.
The question you want to ask yourself is after you, what conversation do you want to continue?
Yeah.
Is it going to be public speaking blank, your why blank, or a new conversation?
Oh, it's gone pink. I think I like the name of that one somewhere. Do I need to put brackets around it if it's just one word?
No.
No. Let me take that out of there then.
You're doing phenomenal, by the way.
Change that. Sorry?
Yeah. I would actually delete that permanent note that you have in the blue, just so it's out of sight, out of mind. I forgot to do that. Yeah. Perfect. And then being informed by the fleeting notes, being informed by the literature notes and the reference notes, you have I keep messing that word up. Public speaking blank. And you wrote public speaking context. And now it's time to crystallize the thought, continuing the conversation. Just commentary, by the way, everyone that's watching, this is called the thinking process. If you might have forgotten, this is the thinking process.
Okay. Oh, I forgot that.
You got it.
Okay.
Do you want to add any relevant notes, by the way? Anything that's related to context, your why context? No?
No, I don't think it.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I did delete the other two, like just so it's ready to go.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Right.
Let's do the double brackets instead of the hashtag next to the relevant notes on the daily notes page, just for the CSS. I haven't figured out a way to go beyond that. I know it's annoying.
No problem.
Any relevant notes you want to add? Frictionless, your why?
No, because the only ones that connect are going backwards.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. I see where I went wrong there. Yeah.
But let me just explain that to everybody. So the reason that she doesn't need to connect public speaking or context to frictionless is because that thread of conversation is already included. There's already a relationship in the permanent notes. Anything that's a sibling to that could be added. Anything that's, you can't add any children to that. That's why I was kind of confused, because I was like, how does she have children of that? But again, you want to link relevant notes, especially in the beginning as well. You're not going to have a lot of relevant notes, but you don't need to go up the ancestry, but you can do siblings and other threads of conversations. Just commentary for people as well. It's the conversation couldn't continue in any other branch, so she had to create a new conversation, which is exactly right. How do I know it's exactly right? Because that's what she did, and whatever she does with her Zettelkasten is right. As long as you connect the relevant notes, it's all connected. Any relevant notes to organization?
Yes. Remember how to do that now. Let's go back.
So on a Mac, it's Option, or hold Option and then drag the bullet points over. And underneath relevant notes, exactly. And you'll notice that you've done it right, is if you see the permanent note on this is a sibling of that dragged block reference, and they are. So that's perfect. Yeah. Excellent. Any other relevant notes? I'm just asking. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So now this is what I'd like to do. How does that feel?
Much better.
Why? Why?
Because it's me rather than how it was.
And by the way, people that are watching, listen back to what I said in the very beginning of the video. I was like, this doesn't feel like you, right? And now it does. It's you. You're talking to you, this communication partner.
Yeah.
And you use the exact same literature notes, fleeting notes, and reference notes, but because you were writing it to your graph, it changed. And
yeah, I just copied as it was from the other one, which didn't make sense. No, yeah, I get that now.
Let me ask you this, just so everyone can sort of understand what you're going through, because they don't like, there's a lot of people, they don't feel that yet. What do you feel right now? Do you feel sense of relief? Do you feel like
relief and excitement?
Yeah.
And a
Right?
sense of being able to go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've seen what plenty of notes looks like. We've seen what 200 notes looks like. And we can understand and appreciate what that looks like. And now it's just a matter of building it out on your own.
Yeah.
I don't even need to share the screen. I mean, you understand it. And I think, yeah, I would definitely go back and redo all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I want to kind of look back at the questions here. It's like, how are they going to be connecting? And it's all of those answers are going to be answered. All of those questions are going to be answered as you build it out.
Yeah.
And what I would love for you to do is be available for others to seek you out as guidance, because not only do you understand it, you're talking already to your communication partner. And I think people need to hear other people talking about that, because
that's fine.
you know what I mean? And this community, there's so many different, everyone's at a different place.
Yeah.
And where you're at right now, you're the first person that I've actually created multiple permanent notes with, and they had to see that. And this is going to be an invaluable resource for them, because there was another video where someone created their first permanent note, but there's no communication at that point, right? Like, what were you feeling? Like, give me a play-by-play. What was the first permanent note? Felt like it was stakes
in space.
Right? It was a space.
Yeah.
Right? And then the second note, how did that feel? The third note,
it was a connection.
Yeah. And then that first relevant note that connected. I mean, if you watch back this video, you can feel like the invisible burden on your shoulders begin to go, oh, look at this. This is interesting. And yeah. And so, okay. So what I recommend is definitely just be available for this community, because there's going to be people that are going to be seeking that out. And you've nailed every step of the process. You nailed it. And I would go back, delete all the other permanent notes, go back to your permanent notes page and just delete all the old ones is what I would recommend.
Yeah.
And make sure you stop sharing your graph with me as well.
Okay.
So go back to the share screen.
How do I do that?
If you go back to the share screen, let's go share my screen here.
Oh.
So if you go back to the share screen here and you go to share, just hit the X next to the email, and then I'll stop sharing it with me.
Okay.
And yeah, Carol, I mean, blown away.
Can't get rid of that.
I shouldn't be blown away. I mean, it's a simple structure and you got it. And yeah, I would delete those permanent notes too. That I hid underneath that line.
All right, yeah.
I mean, just even let's open that up. I just kind of want to take a look. Oh, hold on. Let's scroll down to context, right? So if you compare the two, it's like it's night and day. It's like there's like, I don't know what it is, but I see you in those top 5 permanent notes, and all the other notes feels. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I think what I was doing, because a lot of the people in the group are more educated than me. I left school at 16. I didn't have any further education.
Yeah.
And I think I was trying to word things so they would, as they would word them, rather than as I would word them. Yeah.
And that's the hallmark of a personal Zettelcast, and it's you're wording it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I would just delete all those. I mean, why not? It doesn't make contextual sense. It's already in your
Will I
daily.
lose all my fleeting notes?
What is that?
Will I lose all my fleeting notes?
No, this is just deleting it from the permanent notes page. This is where it's just linked to. So yeah, you can get rid of all those. And then as you go through, just basically start from February 28th. And then you can delete those lines as well. But yeah, start from February, I believe it's February 27th, and just go back up February 28th, March 1st, March 2nd, and just look for all the permanent notes that you made before. Delete the index, delete the permanent note, and then look through the fleeting notes, which you did a great job on, which is why it's important to do good fleeting notes. Do the literature notes, take a look at the reference note, add it to the permanent notes page, which conversation you want to continue. Add the index, put it all together, and then drag over all the relevant notes, move on to the next, And after you get done with that, you'll have what, was it 20? I think you had, or 13, 15?
12, I think it was.
12, yeah, you'll have 12 notes that are talking back to you.
Actually connect, yeah.
Yes. Oof. Oof. Thank you so much, Carol. You're amazing.
Thank you for your help. You're wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel I know what I'm doing now, which is great.
Yes, you do know what you're doing. I just reminded you. That's all I do. All I'm doing is reminding people. This is how you learn.
Another thing that resonated with me was the fact that the fleeting notes, you just keep writing. And then you talk to the author when you do the literature notes, because you're combining what you've written with what they've written to find out, sort of get behind their skin and work out what they were thinking and how it relates to me. So yeah.
I mean, people keep asking what the difference between fleeting notes and literature notes is, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's good. I like.
Thank you, Carol. I will
Thank
see you
you very
tomorrow,
much.
hopefully. And
I'll be there. Well, it's tonight for me for the meeting.
Yeah, I'll see you tonight. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
That was amazing.